San Francisco, California. Today, it's the Bay Bombers versus the Brooklyn Red Devils. Hello, I'm Don Drury. Along with me calling your play-by-play action is the Bomber coach, Charlie O'Connell, who is sidelined with an injury. Right now, we're in the fifth skating period of this game, with the Bay Bombers leading 23-20. However, there were some points just picked up on this jam, and we'll see an increase in the score in just a moment. 23-21, one Red Devil point was picked up on the play. It's been a pretty rough game, and the women's field of the Bombers shorthanded right now. They've got two skaters out, and they're skating with only 5 skaters this evening. The Red Devils at full strength. And again, the Bombers with a disadvantage with Gillarosco and, of course, yourself out, Charlie.
Yes, but this gives a chance to the Groves and Butler and Mallory and Paul by changing the whole team play around, putting everybody in the pivot helmets, putting everybody in the jammer slots. We're trying out some things for the second half, and it should work out pretty good.
23-21, the Bay Bombers on top. Here's a look at the women's lineup for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Ann Calvello, number 23, the women's captain. Jackie Garillo, Lana Kasanovic, Kathy Boas, 21. Terry Inhabit, a young rookie, just picked up. And J.J. Burton is number 27. There are the jammers out, but going to play. It is number 35, Judy McGuire. Moving for the Bay Bombers, number 25 is Jackie Garillo for the Brooklyn Red Devils. McGuire takes an elbow block from the outside by Garillo and is put down. Red Devils have the only potential score out moving on this play right now. All 5 of the Bay Bombers being kept in. Weston sending the jammer out. McGuire has been dumped at the rear of the pack and is trying to move back up on the pack. She cannot score. The only one who can score right now is Jackie Garillo. She's the Brooklyn Red Devil. Judy McGuire sent back to the blocking. She's caught back there. She's having to defend. Burton comes in with a block. McGuire's moved out of the way, and it's Calvello and Burton to lead the way up for that Red Devil jammer. Tucker hit with a block by Ann Calvello. Garillo not quite able to get through. Now Burton opens the door again. Garillo goes to the inside, cuts the jam off. And the official decision, there were 3 Red Devil points scored on the play by Jackie Garillo. That'll put the Red Devils up on top by 1, 24-23 over the Bay Bombers. 5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining here in the 5th skating period with a timeout being called on the track. We'll be right back after these commercial words. Drury, Charlie O'Connell back calling the action from Keysar Pavilion. It's the Bay Bombers in competition against the Brooklyn Red Devils in today's game, with the Red Devils leading 24-23 over the Bay Bombers. We're in the 5th skating period, the first period of the second half, and the 3rd skating period for the women. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left to go. There's the lineup for the Bay Bombers. The women, number 38, women's captain is Joan Weston. Carol Phoenix-Meyer, 39, out with an injury. Wilma Bryant, number 36, is a rookie. 35, Judy McGuire out. 34, Dolores Tucker. 32, Barbara Baker out with an injury. And 31 is Terry Lewis, who is on the track and is a rookie for the Bay Bombers. The jam is in progress. It is number 27, J.J. Burton in pursuit of women's captain, number 38, Joan Weston, who has the pivot helmet on. Jammer starting to play first. Pivot skater then eligible to go out and try and score. Weston moving in, and Calvello back on defense for the Red Devils. Weston, sidestep, Calvello hits into Burton. And the jam called off. There was 1 Bay Bomber point scored by Johnny Weston, unassisted over Ann Calvello, who collided with her own teammate. That ties it 24 all.
Looks like Cal Stevens is coming back into the infield again, but without his skates. Looks like he had an injury in that first half because it got really rough there for a while, and I think James Paul was one of the ones that eliminated Cal from the second half of skating.
Here we are watching this jam with Joan Weston and J.J. Burton again. You can see Weston trying to set herself up. Calvello low, comes up. Weston makes a quick move, and Calvello already committed herself, runs right into Burton. There was 1 point there. We're back live now. 3 minutes, 18 seconds left to go. Stevens has joined the Brooklyn Red Devils. He'll be coaching from the infield. Shaken up, no skates on. As you said, a very, very rough first half, Charlie. And this may be the break the Bombers need, though, eliminating that big man.
That's what I was hoping to see. What happened is to eliminate the big guy will give it a little more chance in this game here because it was getting too much weight on our team. It was hurting him.
Gamers are out and moving. Number 35, Judy McGuire for the Bay Bombers. Jackie Garillo for the Brooklyn Red Devils. 1-1 on the play. One jammer from each team out and moving. They're moving on the rear of the pack, moving in a scoring position. You have to lap the field within a 60-second time period. Then for each opposing skater lap the pass within that 60 seconds to pick up 1 point. Calvello light blocks into the back of McGuire. An elbow block. Another one thrown back. Garillo trying to beat out Johnny Weston, and Calvello continues to do an outstanding job at the Brooklyn club. Weston always in fine form, stopping little Jackie Grillo. She moves to the outside. And Calvello grabbing a hold of McGuire to the outside, runs her up, slams her into the rail, and goes back. McGuire's set hold of the rail. There's a penalty on Calvello. Illegal use of the hands. Burton is trying to score. Weston right there with her. Good shoulder block, another one back. And time runs out. However, the official decision, there was one Bay Bomber point scored by McGuire on the penalty of Calvello. So the Bombers take the lead by 25-24 here in the 5th period. A minute, 50 seconds left to go, and Calvello coming back over to the rail. Tucker jumping up on her. Minute 45 seconds remaining here in the 5th period.
Looks like everybody's taking off on each person. Like McGuire is going with Garillo, Calvello's after Tucker. It's like a man-to-man game now, and I think it's going to break open a little wilder in a few minutes because it just can't stay that way. Everybody's going to have to get into the act now.
Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to do an interview with one of these girls sometime. You have to call that person to person now. Women's lib is very strong. Back being reorganized. There's a minute and 15 seconds remaining here in the 5th period. Bombers on top by 25-24, and the Brooklyn Red Devils are shorthanded with women's captain Ann Calvello in the penalty box. Back is reorganized. The Jammers are out. Again, it's Garillo and McGuire on the move. The two matched up very well. McGuire, good block in by Garillo. McGuire put down. Bombers now without a jammer out, and that's unusual. You see 3 Red Devils controlling 5 Bay Bombers in that pack. They're unable to get another jammer out.
I think they're mainly interested in just blocking Garillo because she's the smallest one, and I can see Weston's going to give it to McGuire, so a grudge deal again.
McGuire getting ready at the rear of the pack. Judy McGuire waving Garillo up. No movement. She had about 28 seconds left to go on the clock. There's an good solid elbow block thrown back to Jackie Garillo. Garillo caught with a good shoulder block. McGuire back on defense. Garillo moves forward, but again McGuire there to meet her. The Red Devils slowing down the pack. They've got it in a dead standstill, and McGuire holds defense for the Bay Bombers. Calvello is out of the penalty box. She's looking to assist. McGuire set back. Calvello put back. McGuire moves out of the way, and the crowd goes rampant. Hear it. These are Calvello highly upset. The jam called off. No score. So the score at the end of the 5th skating period. The Bay Bombers 25, the Brooklyn Red Devils 24. We'll be right back with the men taking the track for the 6th period directly following these commercial words. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Drury, and I would like to thank all of you fans in New York and New Jersey for tuning in to the special 1978 season telecast of the Bay Bombers along the special Madison Square Garden Cablevision and, of course, their affiliates. However, if you would like to see these telecasts continue, you must phone and write to the station on which you are watching this program. But before you forget, phone Madison Square Garden tomorrow at 212-563-8000. And again, do it tomorrow. Let them know that you want to see these Bay Bomber telecasts continue along the Madison Square Garden Cablevision network. About bringing the Bay Bombers to New York for a live game, you can do so by writing to Madison Square Garden. Write to Madison Square Garden at 4 Pennsylvania Plaza, New York, 10001. But don't forget, phone Madison Square Garden tomorrow and tell them you want to see the Bay Bombers stay on this station. Don Drury, Charlie O'Connell back calling the action, and there's a shot of Ann Calvello. Very upset after that last play, Charlie.
She's upset 99% of the time when she's on the track, so that's nothing unusual for Ann. That's just the way it's her nature.
Where was she first started?
I think she first started when she came from San Francisco here, but I think her first name was the Philadelphia Panthers.
That goes back a few years, doesn't it?
I think it goes back to about 48, 49, and then they brought her...
The year I was born.
Oh, don't let her hear that.
Never's out moving. The men are on the track. We're in the 6th skating period. This game between the Brooklyn Red Devils and the Bay Bombers from Kezar Pavilion. Bombers lead by 125-24. Larry Lee coming up. There's an elbow block to the inside. Mike Chump, a young rookie, hit back, stays in pursuit. Comes out of a skating family. His mother and father just retired last season. They were with the Brooklyn club. Joe Chump and Jerry Seltzer. Hammer's moving on the rear of the pack. It'll be Tony Smith back on defense for the Red Devils. Lee trying to eliminate the Bomber jammer before he makes his move. Flip Butler sent back into the blocking for the Bay Bombers. Smith comes back. Chump put down hard. Set up by Lee and dumped by Smith. Now Smith free to lead the way up there for Larry Lee. up, shaken up, has been replaced by Alvin Mallory in the lineup. There's a leg block into Butler. Butler recovers, quickly comes back with a block, stops Larry Lee. Butler trying to move out of the way of the block, thrown back by Smith, stays on defense for the Bombers. Jammer coming up, Lee hit back again, and time of the jam runs out, no score. Great defensive work by Cliff Butler. No score on the play.
And Tony had his hands full with Cliff, because when Cliff is on, there's nobody going to stop him when he gets going.
There's team morale right there. You can see all the Bombers bunched together, Charlie. We're going to take a look at this one again. Here's Smith trying to lead the way up. We're in the instant replay right now. Comes in with a leg block. It doesn't take the Butler. Butler quickly moves back up in front, comes in with a block. Lee tries to make his way through, but he can't see where Smith's going. He's hit back with one block, slowed down, and Butler comes in. Smith misses the block on Butler, and time ran out right there. No score. Good coverage by Cliff Butler. Quick moves. We're back live with the Bay Bombers leading 25-24 over the Brooklyn Red Devils. Back is form, whistle sounding. Offensive jammers again make their way up, trying to fight their way out of the pack. The Red Devils get the first jammer out. Earl Pearson, number 24 on the move. Bombers have their secondary jammer, or their lead jammer out, number 33, Alvin Mallory. Mallory goes for the lead, comes up with a block, and Pearson put over the rail. Well, the Bombers now have the only jammer out moving on the play. Pearson dumped with a jump block by Gammon. And the Bombers are in control.
One man makes the difference. Getting rid of Cal out there, it equalizes the game a lot better now.
Tony Smith sent back to do the blocking. Now sends back Pearson, who misses a block on Mallory. Mallory coming up, most to the outside. Tony Smith comes in with a block and stops him from scoring. Skater moving up. Pearson has already been passed for a point. He has a jammer summon again, unable to make those quick stops. He doesn't have the speed or the ability of a Mike Gammon to be trying to do something like that. But if they can get him back up in front right now, he's going to be better off. Again, comes back, and again missing a block. Mallory just getting out of the way. Tony Smith still holding back on Mallory, rides him back. Holding him back, and time of the jam runs out. Time of the jam is over.
Should be a penalty right there. He's holding his head all the way around.
1 point for the Bay Bombers, scored by Alvin Mallory, unassisted over Earl Pearson. The Bombers take a 2-point lead, 26-24 with 8 minutes. 8 minutes remaining here in the sixth skating period. We want to remind the fans that this telecast is strictly for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any other use or reproduction of this broadcast without the express written permission of the International Roller Skating League is strictly prohibited. 7 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in the sixth skating period. 26-24, Bombers on top by 2. Jammer out, Larry Lee moving for the Red Devils. And it is number 32, Mike Chubb, the rookie, coming out for the Bay Bombers. Lee with a lot of experience comes back. Good block, jump put down hard, slow in getting up. Good solid block thrown in there. Gammon off the whip. He's on a late chase. Lee picking up the pace. Kroll back to do the blocking. Tony Smith back to lead the way. Here comes 21. Larry Lee digging in out of those turns. Down the straightaway. Zestan is flying. Coming up. Kroll moved out of the way by Smith. James Paul taken down. And Smith really using that size and power. Opens up the door. The jam called off. The official decision. There were 4 Red Devil points. 4 Red Devil points picked up by Larry Lee. A great assist by Tony Smith. That puts the Red Devils on top, 28-26, and we're back watching it again. Here's Tony Smith leading the way in, jumps James Paul, another skater, Cliff Butler, moved out of the way, and Mike Chubb run into the rail.
What they didn't see there was Cal Stevens interfering with Mike Gammon on the chase.
Timeout being called on the track with the Red Devils leading, 28-26. We'll be right back after these commercial words. And Drury, Charlie O'Connell back calling the action from Kezar Pavilion. We're in the sixth skating period of this game with 6 minutes remaining. In this period, Red Devils lead 28-26 by 2 points over the Bay Bombers. There's the lineup for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Coach Cal Stevens, who was injured in the first half, is coaching from the infield. Number 27, Tony Smith, 26, Earl Pearson, 24, Larry Lee, 21, Chris Rowe, 29, Rob Mendelson, 25, and Chris Keenan, also in that lineup for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Jammers out, moving on the play. Pearson and Mallory both going down hard. Mallory is up and moving again. Pearson taken back into the pack. Bombers have the only jammer out moving on the play right now. This is similar to what it was 2 jams ago with Mallory moving in. Tony Smith back to do the blocking for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Mallory, 33, is your potential scorer. Mallory comes up. Tony Smith, forearm block up into the head of 33, Alvin Mallory. Mallory shaking up, slows down just a little bit. Smith slows down with him, grabbing him around the outside. And Mallory running to the infield. Butler coming across as he came into Stevens, and Stevens dumped him down on the infield. Smith coming over. Butler being dumped. There is a penalty call on Tony Smith, a slugging call.
What kind of a call they're going to make on this one now? I can't imagine. I want to see what Morrissey or one of them is called.
Skater shaking up and down as Alvin Mallory. There's Cal Stevens, the man he ran into. Butler back up. Mallory being held back up to his skates. And Stevens has picked up a personal fine, it looks like. Interference down there.
No, it's bad enough watching the skaters on the track where you don't have to continually watch the guy that's in the infield, too.
Well, you started with your team. 1969 Roller Derby Rookie of the Year. Coach Cal Stevens right there on your screen right now with the helmet on his head. Just took it off.
Yeah, but he learned from a good source. We give him the breeding and the technical part of the game, but when he learned from Ken Monty. And Ken Monty showed him every trick in the trade.
3 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the sixth skating period. Bombers did pick up 1 point on that. There was a penalty on Smith, blocking or slugging call after the play. So the score, 28-27. Red Devils on top by 1. Jammers are out. It's a rookie, Rob Mendelson, number 25, out and moving on the play. Bombers looking to get somebody out.
This kid's doing real good.
This is only his second game, just picked up.
He's doing very good for tonight.
Jammer coming in. It is Butler back on defense, unwinds another good solid elbow block back there by Butler. All 5 of the Bombers being kept in that pack, but Butler goes to work. Roll comes in. Roll unwinds a solid one.
They're not giving the kid any chance either. They're really laying it into him.
This young rookie's going to have his, he's got it back there as Grohl and Butler are top blocking professionals. Another skater comes back in. Skater taken down. Gammon was taken up into the rail. I think he was passed for a point, but a chance continues, and Butler is doing that blocking. Gammon comes up with a block. Skater put over the rail by Gammon. Gammon, helmets are off. Gammon coming back. Skater's taken down. Butler coming up. Lee coming up. And Pistol flying.
Someplace in that mess, they got
And Butler.
Looks like Butler put somebody to sleep down here real quick.
And a standing ovation here at Keysar Pavilion. Another tremendous crowd. And they're happy that at least the Bay Bombers might not have scored, but they're getting active and powerful. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the sixth skating period. And the officials, this is going to take a little while to sort out. There's a guy down on the infield. I couldn't see who it was. I believe it's Larry Lee, who was nailed by Butler. He took one solid shot.
Yeah, but the one that started all that trouble after it all calmed after that one shot is Mike. When Mike started it, and then they started to come back after Mike, that's when that Bomber team jumped right up and really went. Everybody's gone together. That's what's good about the Bomber team. They stick together, they fight together, and that's why they've always been a winner.
If you're interested in getting information on your favorite skater on the Bay Bombers, or you'd like to find out about a game in your area, write to the Bay Bombers, P.O. Box 7979, San Francisco, California, 94120. That's the Bay Bombers, P.O. Box 7979, San Francisco, California, 94120. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining here in the sixth skating period. The Red Devils scored heavy on that last play. They lead now 33-27. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go. Big 5 points picked up on the play. I think some of it on penalties. And Butler and Gammon are both in the penalty box. Bombers at a disadvantage now, trailing by 6 points. They have only 3 skaters out. They've got a young rookie out there. I think the smart thing for him to do right now is cut that jam off. He continues on the move. Red Devils also have a jammer or a skater in the penalty box, and that's Larry Lee. He was involved in that fisticuff.
I don't think the chump boy would cut it off anyway. What breaks me up, Don, is that this kid, Chump, coming in, he and his father started together in it 25 years ago.
Skaters going down hard. The jam called off. There was one Bay Bomber point picked up by that young rookie. 25 seconds remaining in the period. The lead cut down to 5 points, 33-28. Good second effort out there.
Sure is. He's put a couple of years under the kid's belt, and he's going to be all right.
He's aggressive. He's taken quite a beating since he started this season, too.
Yeah, surprisingly, this is the first year that I've ever seen when rookies are coming in that normally they give a rookie a break. You know, they don't hurt him, don't throw high elbows. But in this game alone, I've been watching him really killing the rookies.
Well, the score at the end of the sixth skating period, the Brooklyn Red Devils 33, the Bay Bombers 28. We'll be back directly following these commercial words for the seventh skating period, final period for the women in this game. Don Drury, Charlie O'Connell back calling the action here at Kezar Pavilion. We're in the seventh skating period, final period for the women in this game, with the Brooklyn Red Devils leading 33-28 over the Bay Bombers. Women just getting on the track, this period just getting underway. It's Dolores Tucker, number 34, out and moving for the Bay Bombers. Lana Kasanovic, number 28, out for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Leg block in by Tucker, elbow block coming up. Lost my voice there for a second. Jammer's coming back up and down the straightaway. Tucker maintains lead possession on that jam. It'll be Ann Calvello and Joni Weston back to do the blocking at the rear. Tucker moves up first. Calvello comes in with an elbow block. Weston again back there, stopping number 28, Kasanovic. Forearm block, an elbow block back by Ann Calvello. Weston preventing Kasanovic from going to the outside. Comes in with another one. Burton up with a block, trying to move a bomber skater out of the way. The block doesn't take. Weston hangs on to Kasanovic. Calvello sitting waiting at the rear of the pack. Tucker moving forward again. Weston, a barrage of elbow blocks, running Kasanovic high, coming out of the turn. Time in the jam starting to expire, and time running out. There was no score on the play. No score on the play.
I think that Calvello particularly didn't care about the score at all. She just laid back there waiting for Tucker to keep coming because she wanted a piece of Tucker again.
Well, I think if they can slow them down, that's probably what Annie's thinking about right now. Maybe move somebody out of that lineup. They've already got a 5-point lead.
Well, if she does get a hold of Tucker and gets her out of there, it's going to be a heck of a lot larger score, that's for sure. It just makes it much more difficult for the men to try and get the points back. And it's very hard to do in this late in the game.
Well, I think the team's certainly missing you. Any idea when you'll be returning, Charlie? Fans just watching this game, maybe they missed a couple of games in between. Charlie O'Connell is up doing the color announcing with us. He's been injured, a very rough Pioneer series, and has not been able to skate against the Brooklyn Red Devil Club this season.
No, unfortunately, I probably got another week, I think. It's entirely up to the doctor, and plus it's up to my vision. If I get out there and I see double, it's going to be awful rough for me.
Jammers out moving on the play. Lana Kasanovic moving with number 35, Judy McGuire. And in the second half, we see Kasanovic going with McGuire, who has been just outstanding in the first half. She was moving more with Jackie Garillo in the first half and has just eliminated the Red Devil Jammer.
Yeah, well, she's laying back there right now for her, Garillo. Calvello shoved her back.
Garillo back on defense. Elbow block. Two skaters just about the same size. I think McGuire has a little bit more speed, but Garillo is really coming into her own as well. Good elbow block, thrown back. Calvello there as a backup if needed. And McGuire looking for the right opportunity, backing off. Garillo set and waiting. There's a Red Devil Jammer, Terry Abbott moving up. She's been hit, put down. McGuire still looking for that right opportunity. Red Devil Jammer up and moving again. Still no move. McGuire now starting to dig in, trying to go to the outside. Garillo trying to stay with her step for step, slipping out of that turn, goes down. And McGuire faking a cutoff, takes a whip, goes down. Red Devil Jammer coming up. Tucker with a block. There was one Bay Bomber point scored by Judy McGuire. You can see the aggression, Charlie. I think we're going to see a replay of this. And you can see that young rookie. They don't, in the past, here we go. Here's Garillo and McGuire side by side, and the skater goes down, but a young rookie just kept coming, and that puts a lot of pressure on that veteran.
It certainly does, but as McGuire always does, she makes sure that she gives herself a lot of time and a lot of room before she even tries to make an attempt to score. And she had about 15 or 20 feet before that rookie could ever get near her. So when she made her move, there was just no way that she had to worry about her.
And the poor rookie had to go around that fallen skater, Jackie Garillo, as well. That takes a couple of seconds away from you.
It certainly does.
7 minutes, 38 seconds left to go here in the seventh skating period. Brooklyn Red Devils lead 33-29 from Kezar Pavilion. And the Red Devil Jammer slipping as she tried to get out of that pack. Didn't make it out. No jam started as yet. Still a blocker up in front.
I think the track is getting a little bit slippery right now. I don't see anybody putting any powder down, and the track is starting to really get a shine to it. So it could be quite dangerous right now.
Jammer is out moving on the play. Jackie Garillo on the move for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Out moving for the Bay Bombers, 36, Willie Ryan, rookie, her first season with the Bay Bomber Club. Joan, Weston, and Calvello already set at the rear of the pack, getting ready to do the defensive work for their clubs. Jammer coming up, Calvello in with a good block, sends Ryan over the rail, now free to assist. Garillo moving into scoring position. Calvello moving McGuire out of the way. Going up after Joan Weston. Weston being moved out of the way. Garillo picking up 2 points. And the pack lifted high by the Red Devils. The jam called off. The official decision, there were 4 Red Devil points picked up by Jackie Garillo, the assist of Ann Calvello and the Red Devil team. 6 minutes, 33 seconds left to go here in the 7th period. And a timeout being called on the track with the score. The Red Devils 37, the Bay Bombers 29. Charlie O'Connell back calling the action from Kezar Pavilion. And there's a shot of, again, the tremendous crowd that comes out to support the Bay Bomber Club, Charlie. All the way around, you can see them in the background every week.
This area has always been a very great place for us to skate in, and it has been for the last 20, 22, 23 years. I hope it continues.
Jammer's out moving on the play. Also out with a pivot helmet on is women's captain Ann Calvello. Tucker moves up, opens the middle of a double block. Breaks loose. Weston now attempting to slow down on both of the Red Devils as Tucker moves into scoring position. Tucker coming up. A double block formed to Dolores Tucker. Tucker trying to fight her way through for Bay Bomber points. Being kept back by Garillo and by Kasanovic. Tucker, number 34 with that Jammer's helmet on. Weston also moving up now. Weston trying to shove it right through the middle. Weston is also eligible to score. Tucker to the inside as the pack is lifted. The jam called off. The official decision, there were 3 for Tucker and 2 for Joan Weston, a total of 5 Bay Bomber points picked up. That's something that the Bombers needed very desperately. 37-34. Red Devil lead cut to 3. Here's an instant replay of this. Tucker moving into scoring position. Weston is way back there trying to slow down Calvello and J.J. Burton. Tucker forced to try and fight her way through the middle of a double block unassisted. And in just a moment, you're going to see, there's Joan Weston coming up. Weston will shove her forward. A skater goes down. Tucker goes to the outside. Bombers lift the pack. Weston has also gone by. And that was a total of 5 Bay Bomber points picked up. Desperately needed right now with only 4 minutes and 11 seconds left to go. The Red Devils still lead 37-34. We're back live.
Not too many people realize why a skater would just stand there in between 2 skaters like that. But the main object of the whole thing is to keep everybody locked there, where nobody can turn their heads around and see anything happening. And that's why we usually do that. We lock their arms in there so no one can move and have the, like a Weston come in and sneak in. Now, it's pretty hard for a girl that big to be sneaking around, but that's the object, of locking everybody in there.
Jammer's out. Garillo sidestepping Judy McGuire. And the Red Devils now have 2 Jammers out and moving on the play. Jackie Garillo and Kathy Boas. Weston breaking late, but she's a long ways back, and they're going to work on a Bay Bomber up in that pack. Bombers, or Red Devil Jammers rather, going by on the inside as Terry Lewis was picked off by 4 Red Devils. And Calvello, or 3 Red Devils, and Calvello, Lana Kasanovic, and J.J. Burton. 2 more Red Devil points picked up. 1 by each Jammer. Boas and Garillo both scoring 39-34. And the Red Devils jump back up to a 5-point lead here in the 7th period.
That's one way of Ann making it real safe. She blew 5 points there for a little while, but now she says it's the easiest way to do it is just take one person and pile them up, that's all.
There's a shot of Joan Weston. You can see the concern on her face. She took over this Bay Bomber Club in 1965 from one of the all-time women greats who left the club at that time, and that was Annis Jensen.
Yeah, Annis Jensen was the original that started with the Bombers. I believe it was back in 54.
1954. Her husband was the first coach of the Bay Bombers.
Right.
And a second-generation skater now on your team who was out this evening is Barbara Baker, her daughter.
Does it make you old?
Jammer's up and out. The play has been started by a jammer. The pivot skater is now eligible to go out. And it is Joan Weston moving with that pivot helmet on. She's got 2 Red Devils coming up after her. Kasanovic takes over the lead on the jam. J.J. Burton right behind. Weston caught in the middle. Weston, a double block, comes back, block to the outside, inside, puts down both Red Devil Jammers. And Calvello back on defense for the Red Devils at the rear. Weston, the eligible scorer for the Bay Bombers, moving in. Kasanovic is up and moving again a long ways back with their 4 Red Devils in the pack. Weston yet to make a move. Calvello Keeping her eye on Weston. Weston yelling up into the pack. Weston starting to pick up a little bit of speed down the straightaway through the Brooklyn Red Devil turn. Goes up. High, low, and Calvello. Weston still on the move. Guerrillo missing a block now. Weston goes high again. Again, Guerrillo misses that block. Red Devil Jammer moving up. And Weston still going for additional points. As the Red Devil Jammer closes in, Weston not yet cutting it off, takes it back, and finally cuts that jam off. She just couldn't quite get rid of that skater. Calvello going after Weston. Weston and Calvello. Helmets off and fist on flying. A minute, 15 seconds left to go in this period, and the women going to it. Oh, good solid one in by Weston. Calvello swearing back.
Oh my God. Joni Gale, the referee, right in the chops right then. There should be something coming out of this one.
Weston thrown out of the game. And that's going to hurt. Only 48 seconds left to go. 48 seconds left to go in this period.
Got another fight down there with McGuire.
And Calvello and Weston squaring off again. Calvello, ooh!
Unfortunately, there's two knockouts right now. It looks like one at one end of the track and one at the other end of the track. McGuire and Weston look like they're both winners.
Calvello being held back up to his skates. Weston will be forced to leave the game. That'll mean that the men will be skating short-handed with a major penalty carrying over into the 4 seconds left to go in the period. Yeah, we're going to see this again. Here's Weston sidestepping, coming back, continues to move. She's picked up 2 points right there. Back and forth, high and low. There's a Red Devil Jammer lurking in the background. You can see her at the top of your screen as they move through the turn. 28 back there. She's also eligible to score. Weston making the cutoff, comes back with a block, and then cuts it off. And this is where Ann Calvello came after Weston, and it all started. There's Joni Weston. She's going to be forced to leave the game with the score at the end of the 7th skating period. The Red Devils 39, the Bay Bombers 36. We'll be right back directly following these commercial words for the men's 8th and final period of this game. Don Drury, Charlie O'Connell, back calling the action from Kezar Pavilion between this game between the Brooklyn Red Devils and the Bay Bombers. O'Connell out with an injury and sitting up here doing the color job tonight, watching the Bombers struggle their way through, trailing right now 39 to 36. The jam is in progress. Jammer moving up is number 33, Alvin Mallory. Tony Smith sent back to do the blocking. Comes in with an elbow block. Stops Mallory to the outside. Mallory again hit back. Skater coming back with a jump block, taking out Tony Smith. Was his own teammate, Earl Pearson. Mallory picked up one and cut it off.
That's one of those plays where I would call him a rookie, not knowing which way the boys are going to step. I think he thought Tony was going to bring him down.
There they go. Helmets off. Mallory, quick hands. Good shot to the head. Pearson trying to stay in there, but he doesn't quite have the size.
Yeah, but he's a tough little kid. That kid's been around for a few years. Nobody seems to recognize him that much. He's who's he with? He was with the Pioneers, I believe, last year, wasn't he? Or the year before?
The Chiefs.
Just the Chiefs?
He was with the Chiefs. But that's a lot of talent to try and overcome, you know, when you've got all those things. It'd be like him starting off with your club. It's really hard for a young rookie to stand out and be recognized.
Yeah, but he's being recognized tonight. The kid has got the talent, there's no doubt about it, because I've watched him when he's going out on a jam with Mike Gammon, and he stays right with him. He does have the ability, but he just doesn't have the experience yet.
39 to 37. Red Devils on top by 2. Red Devils short-handed with Pearson in the penalty box. Bombers with only 4. Mallory in the penalty box. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the game. Young rookie Mike Chump moving for the Bay Bombers. Easy strides along the track. Rob Medelson in pursuit for the Brooklyn Red Devils. Each team has one jammer out and moving now. 32, Chump is your lead jammer. Chasing his way to the rear. He'll be coming in. Slips coming up out of that turn. And it's 21. Larry Lee sent back into the blocking for the Red Devils. Butler back there for the Bay Bombers. Jammers trying to work their way through. Medelson comes forward again. Lee set and waiting. Jump hit back, and another block thrown back to Medelson to the outside. Butler back with a high block. Jump taken out. Adelson put down by Butler as Lee tried to move up to assist that jammer through. Both jammers are back up and moving on the rear of the pack again. Lee, 21, again, cannot score on this play. He's back as a defensive blocker. He's not left the field. Jump moves forward. Butler back with a block. Adelson hit back. Adelson trying to beat out Cliff Butler at the rear. Time and a jam running short. Skater put down. And it's over. No score on the play. Both jammers taking a good beating at the rear of the pack as they try to beat out those blockers.
I think they'll be both tired rookies tonight. They both did a pretty good job this evening.
And sore.
I bet.
You still feel those little aches and pains?
When I see somebody getting hit like that, I do. Brings back memories real quick.
8 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in this game from Kezar Pavilion. Jammers again at the rear of the pack. Pivots at the front, blockers in the middle. The jammers now eligible to make their way forward. Try and start it. Number 35, Mike Gammon off a whip, comes flying out of that pack. Red Devil's going to jammer out Chris Rowe, but he's a long ways back, and Gammon has a good lead, almost a full half lap. Gammon facing his way to the rear. And back on defense for the Red Devils is going to be Tony Smith. Gammon coming up. Grohl dropping back on defense for the Bay Bombers. Grohl moves forward. Hit back by Grohl. Gammon stopped by Tony Smith. Here comes Grohl moving up in the assist. Missing a block to Tony Smith. Block doesn't take. Gammon forced to slow down. Keeping his eye on that jammer. You can see him looking back from time to time as he sees the Red Devil jammer moving in. Comes back with a block. Rowe staggered back again. Gammon back with another block. Rowe put down. Now Gammon backing up. Gammon trying to move to the outside. Now starting to dig in. Smith trying to stay with him. Gammon. Gammon pulled to the infield. Stevens going after Gammon. And Gammon dumped down there. Gammon shaking up. Mike Gammon just driven, pulled right down to the infield by Tony Smith. And the fans yelling in the background. They want Stevens out of that game, Charlie.
That's about time. They should throw him out right now.
The official ruling, there's a 1-minute team penalty for interfering with a playing field, and 1 Bay Bomber point being awarded to Gammon on that penalty. Gammon shaking up. Stevens coming over again, dumps Gammon.
Now he's out.
Helmet's off.
And bodies are flying.
Oh, Stevens just got Grohl going loose. And Stevens trying to lead a track. Grohl isn't through yet.
Grohl is through when Morrissey gets on top of him. He's not going to let him move at all, unfortunately.
Well, the score, 39-38. Red Devils lead, and a timeout being called here in the 8th and final period with 6 minutes, 5 seconds left to go in the game. We'll be right back after these commercial words. There's Mike Gammon, cut lip it looks like. And as they picked him up, he looked quite a bit winded, Charlie. He's still bending over, and he looks like he's limping right now. 5 minutes, 20 seconds. There's a shot at a tremendous crowd again here at Kezar Pavilion. 5 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the game. Bombers down by only 1 point, 39-38.
Mike may be limping, but you watch him when he starts this jam, you'll never even know he's been touched. Because that guy just doesn't care about his body that much. I mean, he goes crazy. He'll take all the abuse he can, but he still performs 100%.
Stevens was thrown out of the game. Red Devils have only 3 skaters on the track, 2 in the penalty box. Bombers with Bill Grohl in the penalty box. And the jammers are out moving on the play. Pearson comes up with a block. Mike Chump taken down by the rookie, Earl Pearson. Pearson now taking off by himself.
It's hard to believe he's only got about 3 years in the outfit.
Oh, Butler coming back with a solid block, and I don't think it's hard to believe for him at that point now. This Butler is brutal right now. Butler, good leg block again. Another leg block back by Butler. Another leg block thrown back. Jump taken down by Tony Smith, and Butler continues the pounding, and Earl Pearson dumps him again.
Boy, that's one of the hardest blocks that Cliff has got, is that leg.
Jammers trying to move their way around. Pearson still down. Jump moving up again. Time and the jam is starting to run short. Jump trying to score. Tony Smith picks him off, rides him back up along the rail, and time and the jam runs out.
I don't know if you remember years ago when Butler was skating on the Red Devils. I guess it was about 7 years ago. And the reason I talk about that leg block of his is that I had a broken hand and my arm was in a cast. And Cliff threw one of them leg blocks at me and broke the cast and re-broke my arm again through it. So I know what that leg feels like.
A lot of weight on that man.
Well, he throws it from left field, you know. He doesn't pull anything. He tries to cave you in.
39-38. Red Devils continue to lead by 1. Both teams back to full strength. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the game. The pack being formed. The whistle sounds. The jammer's coming up. Skaters hit back as they try and work their way out of that pack. Good control over the front. Everybody keeping their eye on the jam. Gammon goes low, starts the plane. Tony Smith coming out with a pivot helmet on, trying to catch up with Gammon. Dumps him, going into the Red Devil turn. And the Red Devils now the only scoring threat out and moving. Their men's captain, Tony Smith. He's a big man. Butler and Grohl dropping back to do the defensive work for the Bay Bombers. Smith moving in, is looking for assistance. No movement yet.
They're all going to rotate, I believe, on this shot.
Butler comes in with a first block. Hounds in. Smith stopped as he goes to the outside. Grohl back. Unwinds another good one. Butler rotates. Late block back into Smith. Grohl, high elbow. Shoulder combination. Smith tired. Leg block back by Grohl. Grohl staying with him. Comes in with a low elbow block.
Watch Mike on this one.
And here comes Grohl again, setting him up. Butler back. Shoulder block. A jump block. Back by Gammon. Gammon coming out of nowhere. Gammon. Ooh. Penalty on Gammon. Gammon kicking back. And I think he's paying him back there for running him down to the infield.
Oh, they're throwing kicks and everything.
Uh-oh.
Grohl got him.
Grohl and Lee. Oh. 39-38, but I believe there will be a penalty call on Gammon, I know of. 1 Red Devil point was scored on a penalty of Gammon. 1 minute, 33 seconds left to go in the game. Penalty on Bill Grohl for slugging. Both teams are going to be shorthanded. And the Red Devils lead by 2, 40-38 over the Bay Bombers. Remember, the last jam in each half, if started with less than a minute, does run the full 60 seconds. And the Bomber fans starting to yell now, let's go Bombers, but they're really going to have their work cut out. You can hear them yelling in the background, but Grohl is in the penalty box. Gammon is in the penalty box.
Well, if they're smart, they'll play it right. They'd get a jam started real quick and cut it off.
That'll help stall out some of the time, and then if they go into the second jam of that,
by that time we might be able to get a couple of guys on the track.
Red Devils trying to get the pack back into formation. Bombers looking to stall it just a little bit, try and get those skaters' penalty times running.
James Poole is going to make that run for the outside real quick.
Back is formed. Whistle coming up. Jammers. Jam started. It's Butler on the move. Clint Butler going out for the Bay Bombers. Comes up with a block. He's out number 2-1. Butler coming back in with another one. Puts him down. Clint Butler out moving for the Bay Bombers with the pivot helmet on. Jammers trying to go along. Butler moving up. Penalty times are up. The skaters are all returning to the track. Bombers with the only scoring threat out. Bill Grohl dropping back on the assist. Tony Smith back on defense for Brooklyn. Butler in scoring contention. Lee is also back there. Here comes Grohl reaching back as a whip. Butler makes him a sidestep. He's down by Lee. It's tied up. Sidestep still going. Gammon trying to get him through. We're into the extra jam time. Butler going for those points. Butler's on the drive. Butler still coming up. Back being bunched up by the Bay Bombers. Butler trying to find his way in there. Dive in a jam. Running short with 3, 2, 1. It's over. The official decision, there were 3 Bay Bomber points scored. Blake Butler scored an assist to Mike Gammon and Bill Grohl. The Bombers pulling it out against a powerful Brooklyn Red Devil team, and the fans going crazy here. We'll be back with an interview talking with one of the top stars directly following these commercial words. Stay tuned with us. The final score of the Brooklyn Red Devils 40, the Bay Bombers 41. Hello, I'm Don Drury talking to you from Kezar Pavilion. The final score here again in today's game. The Bay Bombers 41 and the Brooklyn Red Devils 40. It was a tough way to pull it out. Here's the man that picked up the winning points, Cliff Butler. Cliff, you've been with the team a long time, but the move that you made this evening was so outstanding. Only 3 guys on the track. You had a couple of guys in the penalty box. You couldn't get that jammer out. Went out, and fortunately, the penalty times expired while you were still in the middle of that jam, and that was a lucky break. But your move out there when you couldn't get those jammers out to go out, and you had to be tired.
Right, I was tired. I mean, the whole game we've been getting pounded on, which is a long time thing for us. Any of the fans that have been around roller derby for quite a while, they'll understand that we've always taken a pounding, and just like we're tired of that. So, you know, we had to just put a little extra oomph into it and get out there and try to do the best we can, especially when we've got a couple of guys out like Charlie or Gil Orozco or something like that. So, you know, we just do the best we can out there and just try to not to take a whole lot of garbage that everybody's throwing down, you know.
Yeah, it looked like it really got a little bit out of hand out there, and it looked like the Bomber team stuck together very well. It's probably about the only thing you could do. It's unfortunate that when you're not the guy starting all of this kind of a problem that you end up having to suffer with penalties as well, but yeah, I guess that's part of the game with it.
Yes, it is part of the game, and it hurts for a while, too. You know, you got a man in the penalty box for a minute or two, you know, that's detrimental to you because you don't have as many guys out there for offense or defense, so you have to kind of suffer the consequences every now and then. But if you can get around it, or at least one jam, you've got it made. So we really came to realize this and stop taking so much of a beating.
Well, some of that beating, Cal Stevens got hurt in the first half, and then he came back out. He was coaching from the infield, and I don't like to see something like that, where you see a guy on the infield and somebody grabs him and runs another skater into the inside. That was Mike Gammon over there. It was directly after that. You and Grohl just went to work on everybody, and I just don't like to see something like that. Your team's hurt as well. It's a big team.
Right. Well, if they want to pick on our guys at our weak point, well, we can pick on his at his weak point. Now, his skaters too, they can be beat just like ours can. So we're going to go ahead and keep it going that way. And you know, this is the only thing that we could do to keep them off our back. So maybe then they'll kind of slack off of us and leave us alone for a while.
Well, you know, Cliff, we get an awful lot of fan mail from people around the country who still watch the games. They want to know when the Bay Bombers are coming back. Bombers haven't made a national road tour now in 6 years, and they see all the fans having a good time here at Kezar Pavilion, and they want to know when you're coming back.
Well, hopefully they'll get one together very soon, so all the fans back east and where we used to travel, you know, quite a bit, could see us again, because we miss them too, just as much as they miss us, you know.
The road trips are a little tough, aren't they? What are you doing now, incidentally? We talked to you a little bit, but you work another job. All of the skaters work other jobs. And of course, off season, everybody works full time.
Well, I'm working at a major car manufacturer down in the East Bay here. I've been there for about 5 years now, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's a pretty good place to work, and you know, but I do miss the skating quite a bit. I mean, to me, it's just not enough of it around now. And like I'm saying, I hope to get a road trip together or something. We get something together pretty soon to where we can go back east. And it's a little rough, but it's a nice vacation too. Plus, like I say, we all miss everybody back there.
Cliff, congratulations on the win. I think you skated a terrific game, and thank you for stopping and talking with us.
Thank you, Don.
Now from Kezar Pavilion, on behalf of the hosting Bay Bombers, the International Roller Skating League, I'm Don Drury. Thank you for joining us.